Five.
We love,
Good
love.
morning. Hey, you know, this is very unusual. And if you're seeing four of us, you're not seeing things.
Yeah.
You don't need new glasses.
That's right.
Exactly. Greetings, everybody. And Anita and I are beyond excited.
Well, yeah.
You know, we have some very special guests here. Anita, would you like to introduce them?
You're gonna have to, because I'm still doing my thing. Sorry, I'm
that's
distracted.
all right.
I thought that's what we had lined up.
Sure. Okay. No worries.
I can't chew gum and talk at the same time.
She actually can't. You just can't do streaming to Facebook in two different places and talk at the same time, which is fine.
Yes.
We are all in alignment. Anita Drain, my fabulous, amazing partner, myself, Cheryl Visco. And we wear these funky glasses every week on our Feng Shui Friday to get you looking at your space through energetic eyes. And today, because December is considered a month of giving, we have some very special guests here who know so much about frequency. It is going to shock you. These two gentlemen are the creators and the founders of Focused Life Force Energy, otherwise known as FLFE. You'll see Jeffrey Stegman on one side of the camera and his partner Clayten Stedmann on the other side of the camera. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us and welcome to Feng Shui Friday.
Yay! And you know what? I love this. I mean, first of all, you got to say that, you know, Stedman and Stegman, like how many times does that get mixed up, right? And yeah, they're no blood relation whatsoever. We're going to find out more about them in a minute. And so we want to just share with you, like, you know, what do we do here? Feng Shui Friday. Every Friday we go live and we talk about how energy impacts us in our environment, and specifically our home or our work environment. And we are often, you know, talking about the unseen energy, right? And so that, you know, these two gentlemen are going to tell us more about that in a few minutes. And we just wanted to, you know, maybe see if you wanted to, everybody put on their feng shui eyes. And let's start looking at things energetically. We got some people joining us live this morning. Come on in, everybody. Good morning, Janet. Monica's here. Sharon.
Good morning. Good
welcome.
Good morning.
Give us some hearts. Welcome. Share this out. And so as Cheryl mentioned, you know, it is the gift season, the spirit of giving. And we had planned for the whole month of December to talk about, you know, different triggers and things that happen to people in this season, because it can be very pleasant, it can be uplifting and cheerful, and for other people it can be, you know,
chaotic and depressing and confusing and overwhelming.
And less than that, right? So we just wanted to know, and you guys can put some comments in the chat. We'd love to hear what your comments are. But when you buy a gift for someone, for example, do you do it out of obligation? Do you do it out of, you know, a sincerity, you know, a pure love energy that comes from the heart, right? Or is it kind of that, oh my gosh, so-and-so invited us, or so-and-so, you know, drop by with a gift, and you feel, you know, again, it's that obligation, that feeling of having to reciprocate, right? Or, you know, there's this other thing that we talk about quite often, Cheryl and I, this time of year, and it's that, because it comes down to the gifts that we bring, you know, the things that we bring into our home, right? So have you ever been given a gift from someone? And, you know, I mean, this was given to me as a gift, but, you know, and go like, what the heck is that? And go, oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much. Right. So that false thing. So Jeffrey, Clayten, have you ever had that situation where somebody's given you a gift and you've had to put on, you know, the fake smile or something? Have you ever had to do that?
Well, my smiles can be genuine on any gift because I'm thinking, oh, I can re-gift this to someone
Oh,
else.
yay, yay.
So I'm
Yeah,
what's the good in that,
yeah,
even though it's something maybe it's not right for me, maybe it's right for somebody else,
yeah.
or to donate it somewhere.
To donate. But then, we've also had some of our clients where, when we've been helping them feng shui their home and we ask them, tell me about this. And they say, oh, I got that as a gift.
Mm.
And we go, do you love it? Do you need it? Does it serve a purpose in your life? And they go, no, I really don't like it. But, my close girlfriend Cheryl gave it to me. So I feel I have to have it out in the open or something. Right. Yeah. So Cheryl, do you want to chime in on any of that?
Well, I'm just curious because Clayton's sitting there with a smile on his face. I got to hear what he's got to say here on this topic, because I just know there's something bubbling behind there.
Yeah, that's my all of the above smile. Guilt, obligation, then I have to, if I'm going to re-gift, I got to make a list of where it came from so I don't re-gift it back into somebody who knows that person. So it's like, but if I'm present enough, I just thank them for the blessing.
Right.
Because there's the physical object and there's the thoughtfulness and the love and the kindness.
Right.
So it's a gift of energy as well as a gift of a thing. And
but when we are talking about energy, when we think about those things that we do allow into our space, they should be the things that we absolutely love, that bring us joy, that uplift our energy. And so, it's okay. And I think we have to get into a new program globally to start saying, hey, Jeffrey, I really appreciate that you took the time to go and buy me this wonderful gift. However, I have grandchildren and I could see this going through the window in a heartbeat. And so, I really appreciate that you took the time and thought of me. Would it be okay with you if I regifted it? Or would it be okay with, right? So we're not taught to have those conversations. And then we're putting underneath the rug what really some things that are not serving us energetically, right? Yeah. Anyways, we could talk about that for the whole rest of the program, but we want to talk about you guys. Okay. So energy, unseen energy. I mean, these guys are thought leaders in the field of quantum energy. Jeffrey is, joining us this morning all the way from Cincinnati, and Clayten is joining us from Nelson, BC. So thank you both again for popping on. And Cheryl already introduced that you are the founders of the Focus Life Force Energy. What the heck is Focus Life Force Energy? Because I know there's a gift wrapped up in there that all of our listeners will definitely want to pay attention to and tag some friends on.
Yeah, more than one gift.
Yes,
multiple gifts.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
What is Focus Life Force Energy?
It is the activation of a high consciousness field. So we're talking about energy of a space. It's a way to uplift the consciousness level of a space. And it's a technology that Clayten discovered, some inventors that we're working on, and we worked together on it. But it's a subscription service that activates a high consciousness field on a property or around a phone or an object, like a ring.
So why would anybody want to raise the consciousness?
Pass that to Clayten.
Well, high states of consciousness are associated with happiness, abundance, inner peace, self-love, kindness.
So why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they? Yeah. I mean, feng shui, like there are, of course, in the East, people are much more familiar with feng shui than most of our cultures in the West. And we have a lot of clients in Asia that consider it a type of energetic feng shui because it does lift the energy of the environment. And certainly we do a lot of kinesiology. And I think the last time I checked, the average home that was feng shuied by a professional feng shui person, there's some ways to measure that. The home goes up about 40 points on the Hawkins map of consciousness. So there's a discernible measurement of the increase in available positive energy in a feng shui environment, and probably a fun shui environment.
Yay, it
So
goes up a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know how to measure
Right.
that one.
So FLFE brings it up to a certain level, and then if you feng shui, it can go higher. So the Hawkins map is Dr. David Hawkins, and he created a map of consciousness, and that's what we use to measure consciousness. And 500 would be the love zone, when you're starting to get into the feeling of love, or the energetics of love. 540 and 550, 60, you're into unconditional love.
Nice.
So that is the level of FLFE.
So
the FLFE environment.
How does it work?
Without telling us your trade secrets, of course.
Sure. I'll start and then hand it over to Clayton. But yeah, human consciousness is extremely powerful. So as we know, we can activate a field ourselves, and we do all the time. We're a walking field, right?
100%.
Well beyond our physical body, there's our energetics, and that can become a field effect and a location effect, where the materials of the location kind of hold that consciousness energy. So there's consciousness fields all around us everywhere. So the FLFE system is similar to the human consciousness system. There is a physical device in the FLFE system, multiple physical devices, and they are connecting to a property, a phone, and an object through a quantum association by identifying that property through the address or the coordinates, the phone number, photo of the object. And just like when we think of someone, we're activating a field around them. We send them love, we send them blessings. It's there instantly. There's no delay. That quantum connection is a natural human phenomenon. So the FLFE system is very similar to that. It uses a technology. We won't talk exactly how it does it, but we're able to put into the system specification of the field, have it be at 550 on the Hawkins map, and then also information in the field that's very helpful for the evolution of the consciousness of the person.
So if I understand that correctly, and please chime in, you can target specifically my house, for example. And maybe I just bought this residence and it, I'm excited, etc. But I can actually even improve the frequency of the energy around the house by using your system. Is that correct?
Yes. I'll let Clayton tell you about that.
Well, there's about 0.1% of homes in, say, North America that are in the high 400s on the Hawkins map of consciousness. So you can measure the house that you were living in before there. And if there was, part of what makes us love a home is the beauty and the vibration of it.
Yes.
Physical beauty, the vibration. And a higher vibration does make it feel more homey and more loving. So it's based upon the principle of unique identifier. So if you're holding in mind your mother and you love your mother, then the information in the field might be the equivalent of she has, let's say, something going on with her kidneys, and you're praying for her kidneys, right? That's information in the field. So the technology has the ability to have many, many thoughts, positive thoughts that are highly measured prayers for that environment. So if your house has some energetic anomaly that you can identify through feng shui, we use principles of feng shui to help pray for that place to compensate for any disturbances in the land or misalignments in energy that may show up. Like one of the classic ones is an underground stream.
Right.
A lot of people know about that. So what we'll do is we'll energize the water upstream of the property, so that when it comes on, it's adding energy. So there's things like that that we do, and there's a lot of things like that that we do, and that's kind of how it works. It's like a prayer machine.
Well, you know, I love that because Cheryl and I also lead a group every Wednesday morning. We do the Power of 8 intentional meditation
yes.
based on Lynn McTaggart's work, which I know both of you are very familiar with her work. And it's the power of prayer, and it's that entanglement. And, you know, we don't necessarily know how this thing works entirely,
Right.
but we know it works. And so that's how I look at FLFE, and I've been a subscriber, I'm going to say 4+ years now or something. And I had the absolute privilege of meeting Jeffrey in Chicago at a crying event. We had so much fun, him and his beautiful wife. And, you know, I could tell you lots of stories about focused life force energy. And so the easiest way that I explain it to my clients and is I just say, you know what, it just puts this invisible bubble field of energy around your home that is going to vibrate everyone in it at a higher frequency. And the thing I think that really intrigued me when I first subscribed, Jeffrey and Clayton, was that you have a program that mitigates EMFs, and that really got my attention. And I think even more so now that we have 5G, and, you know, like I said, I have grandchildren, those things are really, really important to me. So can you talk just like a little bit about how FLFE would help for EMFs?
Well, good place for people to go is the website evidence page. And there are studies there. Dr. Gary Schwartz, speaking of Lynn McTaggart, is now on our research team. Lynn McTaggart's written about him. He's been an awesome addition and is bringing kind of a gold standard of research for companies like ours into play. And so one of the studies we did, the early studies, is we added EMF mitigation to the service. So we found a way to enhance the bubble, the environment, to harmonize or to bring EMFs that are present in the environment, like emitting in the environment or coming in from outside. And so that, and you can see on the evidence page, there's a couple of different studies. There's a GDV camera that shows the energy space control before FLFE, and it's very spiky up and down, lots of routers going on and off and cell towers. And then after the EMF mitigation and the FLFE service is put on, it's a very narrow band of energy. So there's just less spikiness, less perturbation to the system, which I think is causing anxiety, people having difficulty sleep, you know, all sorts of physical issues. So a later study with Gary, we looked at what are all those symptoms that people are reporting and what have other previous studies. And that's many of them. There's the anxiety, tension, headaches, sleep. And then we did a study with EMF sensitives, and 100% of the people on the study found relief.
Oh, nice.
Now, that was a lessening of their symptoms, right? Now, in some cases, it was smaller, some cases it was bigger, but all of them saw a lessening of their symptoms. So, and we're continuing to refine that because, like you said, things keep changing. But the idea is to create as much of a pristine environment, energetically high in consciousness, but also is free or harmonized in a way that feels good.
Well, and we always talk about when you leave the house, like, so your home environment is crucial to how you show up in the world. So if you're having a bad day, you leave the house, you're kind of cranky, then that shows up in traffic, and then that shows up at work, and then that shows up at your appointments and with your client interactions, et cetera, et cetera. That's a ripple effect. So in essence, by creating this bubble around the home, it's helping calm the energy in the house. And you don't even realize it's going on.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to say,
Beautiful.
my grandchildren are actually here with me right now. They had a sleepover, and when they come to Grammy's house, they sleep in for the most part. For the most part. So instead of waking up my oldest grandson, he usually wakes up at home around 7 a.m. in the morning, sometimes a little earlier. This morning he didn't wake up till like 8:40, right?
Mhm.
So they love the energy in Grammy's home, right? I also, Clayton, I'm really interested to know, because I know that you do a lot of the amping up, let's say, of focused life force energy. And I know that a while back you did some new programs that actually affect the food that we eat. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my focus is kind of research and development. I mean, it feels like, well, I've been playing with this, experimenting with the technology since 2007. Jeff and I started the company in 2013, and it's just like we're getting started. You know, there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
So high consciousness fields affect everything in the environment, including the food and the water. If you go onto the evidence page, you'll look at, we actually managed to get some crystalline photos from Dr. Emoto's lab.
Right.
You ever seen Dr. Emoto's
Yes.
crystal photos?
His work is fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were curious as to what was going to happen with water in an FLFE environment, and we actually wrote a lot of, or put a lot of information in the field, made a lot of requests to divinity to help water. And once we got our pictures and compared them to all the standards that Emoto has, like he has love, gratitude, blessings, you know, and then he has anger, shame, all the negative ones. And the FLFE water crystal is halfway between love and truth.
Wow.
So there's lots of ways to discover spirit and the power of intention and the benefits of different technologies. So that was one of the ones that we found really fascinating. And of course, you know, we're at least 70% water, and our food is, you know, at least that much. So the structured, beautiful hexagonal shapes that show up in an FLFE environment are supporting your food to be more vital.
Wow.
So we're looking for ways to measure that. We're pretty out there. We'd be like you two, but
you know, the unseen
science-based.
is so much more powerful than the seen. And it goes back to changing what we were brought up. If you don't see it, don't believe it. I don't know how many times any of us have ever heard that.
Yeah.
And what science is catching up to is what spirituality has said for decades.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
It's the unseen energy that is way more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gary Schwartz is a master in that area. And he's written so many books and done so many research in the unseen energies. And the way he explains it is it's frontier science.
Great. Yeah.
And you know, the analogy he uses is quantum. If you think you understand quantum effects, nobody does. Nobody knows why these things happen, how this quantum entanglement can happen across great distances. And so he's said, in an exploration of frontier science, first you look at what's happening. Like what is the evidence for what is occurring? And that's what we're doing a lot on in our research team now. And then you start to drill down, okay, how, what is the mechanism of the effect? So, there's been research on Reiki, on praying for people when they're recovering from operations and those kind of things. And, we don't know how it works yet, but there's some field effect. We believe it's a consciousness field, and that, in being in that consciousness field, there's, like Clayton said, all sorts of good things that happen the higher it is. And, we're talking about the holidays, like, a really positive holiday experience with grandma. I mean, there's so much love in the cooking and, the gifts or whatever's happening.
If that's how it was done, the love is there, and that vibrates out. As Anita started the whole episode with, Sometimes it's, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. It's out of obligation. It's out of because I have to's.
Yeah.
And we're in such a panic and in so much anxiety that actually reverberates out in those gifts as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some really good Christmas shows out there about dysfunctional families. I think my favorite one is the Stone Family. I have to go through my list.
Yeah.
But, I like to watch one of those every Christmas, you know, just kind of get all.
And so if our listeners, I've already put a thing in the comments, but we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We're probably going to go a little bit over our usual time because, you know, there's 4 of us.
Right. And it's fascinating.
And it is. So first of all, I just have to share this story. So this past summer, I was operating a couple of Airbnbs, and I had this one guest, her and her husband had been at the house for 4 days, and they checked out. You know, she sent me a message, said, oh, we've left, blah, blah, blah. And so then I go to the house to check things over before the cleaner comes in, and there's a note on the table. And the note says, dear Anita, we loved your home. It was just what we needed, blah, blah, blah. But we're wondering, did you ever have any other guests complain about any unseen visitors in the night? They had a knock on the door, a slamming of a door. They heard a child screaming, you know, some things like this, right? And so I'm like, I never had another guest say anything the whole summer. And these people came in September. Anyways, so I just took my FLFE subscription, which you can do. And I changed the address, right? So I instead of having it on my house, I took and I placed the beautiful bubble of quantum energy around the Airbnb. And because I was like, okay, well, whoever's here, they better get the heck out because I got guests checking in tomorrow, you know, that kind of thing. And we never had another situation. And so again, you know, I've used FLFE with clients around their homes when they've had those, when they need to clear the negative residual energy that's been left by or brought in by someone else. So, I mean, I just love that. So I had to share that story with you.
Yeah, that's great because we didn't mention about the clearing. That's the first thing that the FLFE system does is it clears that negative history from the land, from the building materials that are there. And, you know, maybe this can apply in a holiday too, like this kind of feeling that we get sometimes is like, we got to buy this, do that. You know, there may be consciousness fields and thought forms around these holidays, whether they're large, you know, nation side, maybe local, but then also, you know, in our homes, there could be thought fields and consciousness fields related to holidays. And if you're going to your parents' house and they don't have FLFE, you know, that land and the building is holding all those conflicts, every bad holiday, it's in those building materials. So just by putting FLFE on briefly, like you did, you can clear all that negative history.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, even somebody that just built a new home, right? You don't know the consciousness or the situation of the builders and what energy they were bringing into the home every day. And if they were hammering out of, you know, anger and frustration, you know, that residual energy is going to be hanging out in your house, right? So, I mean, I love that you two have stepped into this amazing service, into this work that is really and truly raising the consciousness of the entire planet. Because as we understand the quantum energy, we know that what I do, what you do, it all affects the whole. And so really and truly, we're honored that you both were able to, you know, give us some insight into Focus Life Force Energy today. And now, can you tell us all about the gift? Because we know there's a gift. Everybody's waiting. Come on.
It's at least 2
Unwrap
gifts. Yeah.
the present. 2 gifts.
Yeah.
2 gifts. Okay.
Cool.
Yay.
Quantum, it's got to be double.
That's right.
Okay.
So the first gift is the free trial.
Okay.
So 2 weeks on FLFE, if you time it right, you can go right through the holidays on FLFE, and that's either a phone or a property.
Oh, so if someone's traveling and it's on their phone, it's going with them.
You got the bubble with you. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's very helpful, especially
Yes.
people that are EMF sensitive.
Yes.
They're finding the bubble very helpful for that. So that's gift one. No credit cards needed, no pressure. You just try it. We want you to try it.
And I'd have to interject there because I love that you guys do that. So, I mean, someone can sign up right now for their 15-day free trial. They do not have to leave a credit card. So many things that we've done in the past, you have to leave a credit card, you sign up, and then you forget to cancel the thing, and then your credit card's being charged and all that. And I love that you guys are just like, hey, this is what we have.
Right.
Try it out.
Yeah.
If you like it, great. We're not going to phone you every other day and go, well, you know. So kudos, really, because that's really important, I think.
Well, that's
Okay.
how we'd like. That's how we'd like to be treated.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Excellent. All
Do
right.
you want to hit? Do you want to hit the
Gift number
second
one?
gift, Clayton? If
Well, you go
the,
ahead.
one-
You're gifting it up. I'll do the gift of smiles. That's my gift today.
Gift number 2.
So if you go through the free trial and you subscribe, so right now it's $35 for a month, you get another subscription for free that you can gift and put anywhere in the world.
Wow.
So you can put it on your parents' house, you can put it on the synagogue down the street, you can put it, you know, at a school, local school. We really recommend people do local things because then they can, you know, enjoy the benefit of it. So that's called a PIF, or a pay it forward. So it's totally
Love it.
free. And it's that spirit of giving that is, you know, no one knows about it, and you're not expecting anything in return. It's that high level of giving.
Wow. That is so cool, because you could do like a water treatment plant. You could do an area that's had some like a vehicular accident or has them often, right? So I
Prison.
think of Highway 2 running north and south here from
Mhm.
Edmonton to Calgary. And there are areas
Oh yeah.
that are infamous
Yes.
for the accidents in poor weather.
Mhm.
Now, wouldn't that be cool to have a bubble in that area?
Mm.
And then you find out that the accident rate was lowered,
And it changed.
It's
right?
an awesome idea.
I love it. Very cool.
I actually did my pay it forward to a it's not really a church, it's kind of like a healing center, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, I just love that you have that as well, because like you said, anonymously, I know that, you know, I was able to pay that energetics forward, and I know that the people that gather in that beautiful space are in a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And again, like Cheryl mentioned, you know, when you start your day in that space, then that's how we are interacting out in the world. That's how we're showing up. And that is what we're all here for, right? We're all here to raise the level of consciousness on the planet. I love it.
Wow.
So I could do a third and fourth gift if you want.
Oh,
A third and a fourth gift?
sure. Go,
I
Jeffrey,
see-
go.
I see all these flowers. I see all these flowers and plants around you.
Mhm.
Well, if you do a free trial in your home, or if you subscribe, it's a gift to everything else that's living there.
Beautiful.
And we have a lot of plant studies in the evidence.
So then it
Quite
would
a-
affect the animals. I just hear the dogs barking.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Mhm.
animals,
Right, actually.
dogs. Yeah.
wow. So
Yeah.
the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also does affect the neighbors too.
Mhm.
Yes,
Right?
if your property's at 550, there's kind of the bubble emanates some light, you would call it, and so the neighbors will typically be at about 500. They won't have the same number of programs on it or information in the field, but many people have reported the whole neighborhood changing as a result of their subscription being on, neighbors getting along better, or people moving out that were really negative.
We
And
find
just-
that with feng shui, so I can easily
Yes.
see how this works. I just
Same
had this in my
principle.
head, a food bank. Like, so if you were
Yeah.
gifting and you put it on the food bank, that
Yes.
shifts the energy of all the food going
Mhm.
out
Yeah.
to the people that need it, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Ooh.
There's one more thing
Yeah.
about the PIF. So it's at a slightly lower level of consciousness. It's at 500 on the
Right.
Hawkins map instead of
Oh, geez.
550.
Mhm.
It doesn't have all the programs on it.
Mhm.
And what Jeff didn't mention is that even if you only subscribe for a month, our commitment is to leave that pay it forward on that property that you give it to for as long as we own the business.
Wow.
Wow.
So that could
Wow.
be 30,
Wow.
40 years. Yeah.
So that is a gift that definitely is going to keep on
No
giving.
kidding.
Wow.
No kidding. Wow.
Mm,
Speechless, which is extremely rare.
yeah.
Mm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love, again, I love the whole synchronicity of how, we all got to be here at this point right now. I know Cheryl, Jeffrey and Clayton were both guests on Healing Wednesday. So you've had some interaction with them previous to us bringing them on here. And like I mentioned before, Jeffrey and I met at a Cryon event, and so I just love how the universe has just brought us all together. And we are going to have Jeffrey and Clayton both separately, I think, in the new year on our FLAWC channel, right? On our Fox channel, our Fruit Loop and Wind Chime Club. So look forward to that. Okay, does anybody have any questions? I'm going to check over here in the chat. Yeah.
And I have to, so typically we always choose our theme from a card deck from the Feng Shui Personal Paradise card deck of Tara Catherine Collins. And that's how our theme every week is edited. And 2 times today. So I'm shuffling and card flies out and I pick it up, put it back and go, okay, set your intention. Same card came out twice. And interestingly, it's the number 2 card. The number 2 card.
Ooh.
So Adironda always talks about foundation. And the number 2 is a great foundation. And the card is art. So even the art in your homes, everything is energy, right? I look at my pictures. I have yet to meet anybody on Zoom who doesn't comment on how vibrant and the energy, and they just love the pictures behind me, right? Same with Anita's and the live plants. So everything in our home has a subliminal message that it's sending and being reinforced. So even the FLFE is going to change the vibration of the art. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, everything's vibrating in the, in the environment.
Yeah. So if there's any residual energy attached to that, it's going to help to clear that. But, I think also, Cheryl, the other reason that maybe the art card came up is that it relates to creativity. And in the FLFE environment, you're going to be more creative and you're going to be more connected to source. Am I right with that, Clayton?
In any high consciousness field exhibits those similar characteristics. Absolutely. Yeah. And the thing about objects like art, it's like the original love and intentions are still there. It's just the negative parts that get dissolved. So it's just like on the land. If you're attuned enough, you can still read the energy of the land, but the shock and trauma is gone if you're able to clear that. So it doesn't really take away from anything. It's high consciousness fields. They're
enhances.
Blessing. Yeah,
Wow.
just enhances.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, gentlemen. Would you like to say anything in closing?
Well, I keep coming around every interview to love, we're coming into the holidays and those patterns are there and we can get triggered, into those old patterns. And just those small acts of love along the way can, help shift the mood or shift the environment. So
100%.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay. Well, I'm absolutely thrilled and honored that you both took the time to join us today. And I'm sure we're going to get lots of comments and shares out. And thank you for the gift. Thank you
Mhm.
for the 15-day free trial. Thank you for paying it forward for subscribers. I love
Yeah.
it.
Like what a great way to give Christmas gifts as well.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
manifesting and doubling things up. Wow.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. You have been a real treat and a real gift to us. So I appreciate
100%.
I appreciate the work that you're doing. Like, wow.
And we'll look forward to seeing you all in the new year. So that's our Feng Shui Friday. Thank you everybody for joining us live and sharing this out. Like, let's share it out. Come on, let's get in the Christmas gift giving spirit and share this recording out so other people can, you know, have that beautiful energy around their environment for the holiday.
So, and with that said,
Yeah.
Anita, you've put the link so that they can easily access the link.
Yes.
So when you're sharing out the video, also share that link with yourself. Like, however you're sharing, add that link in there so they can get to, and you called it the evidence page. What did you, sorry, what was the verbiage?
Yeah, that's on the one of the main website things there.
Awesome. Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks everybody. Final words there, Miss Anita.
I could just keep talking. So
I know
I'm gonna just say happy we made it through the first week in December. Woohoo. Okay, we got 3 more to go. Happy holidays, everyone, and blessings to everyone. Thank you. Thank you again for joining.
And we'll see you next week. I think we might have another surprise for you.
Oh yeah. Okay.